Afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being here. Just want to say we're really excited to play in the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. Really excited about our opponent, Syracuse. A lot of respect for Dino Babers and his football team. Just want to thank Randy Levine, Mark Holtzman, Bad Boy Mowers, the New York Yankees. We look forward to heading out to New York City, one of the best places to spend your holiday season. I mean, it truly is a destination for people to experience the holiday season, and we'll be doing the same thing. So we're really looking forward to it. Our guys are really fired up about it. We let them know, especially the guys that are from the Northeast. They're really excited, and it's one of the most historic venues. And I've been there before. I think it's one of the best bowl experiences for student athletes that you could possibly have. When you pull all of our players too, how many of you actually been to New York City? I mean, 5% have raised their hand. So you're talking about one of the best times to be in New York City, but also for a bowl experience as well. So we're very honored, very excited, and can't wait. So with that, I'm sure you have a lot of questions.
You been to the bowl game or just
played in it? Yeah. Well, I didn't play in it. I should say that. Coached in it, right? When I was at Rutgers, we actually played the Fighting Garrett Chernoffs over there at for the Iowa State Cyclones. Yeah. So, and when I was there, and he even tell you before. We talk about bowls all the time, right? Bowl experiences. And I was telling him, I said, one of my top 3 favorite bowl experiences was the one in New York because it's so different than most bowl experiences. Some just show you, hey, here's the beach. Have a good time. See you in 5 days. This is something that's really, really in depth. The culture and the excitement and Times Square and being in Manhattan. And it really is. I mean, I grew up on Home Alone and Home Alone 2 and Macaulay Culkin, so it's really special, and hopefully our players are going to have I know they're going to have a great time, and hopefully they truly realize that.
When did Tyler Newman tell you that he was going to come back, and what was your reaction?
Which time? Tyler he was telling me this like in week 2. He's like, hey man, next year we're going to do this, like week 2. I'm like, are you coming back? He's like, well, I don't know yet, but next year, he would just say things here and there, and then there would be times like, I don't know, Coach. I don't know. I might come out, But he wears his emotions on his sleeve. But this was a decision that took a long time to get to. He took some time away, not from the team. He just took time away to really kind of block it all out, make his decision, talk to his parents. He's got 2 amazing parents, and that are very supportive. And he made the decision he made. We support him obviously 100%. When a guy tells you that you're coming back, I mean, you're really excited because of the team, but. Guys have also told me they're not coming back, and I'm just as excited because this is about their experience. This is about their life. They've got to be able to, as long as they take the time to make the decision and spend a lot of time on it and do it for all the right reasons, whatever they feel those right reasons are, I'll support them 100%. It's reactionary decisions based on just what somebody told them. I'm not necessarily a big fan of unless they're real facts, and our guys have done a great job of that. There's always going to be guys that stay. There's going to be guys that go. But I just make sure that they have all the information in front of them, can make the best decision they can with their families, and this was the best decision for the Newbins, and I'm really excited about it.
Will Tyler be able to play in the bowl game?
Yes, he will be available. Yep.
There was other news at safety with Michael Dixon saying he's going to enter the portal. What can you share about his decision?
Well, I don't talk about anybody that's not with the team anymore. But I will say this: I mean, the portal. This is every team in the country is going through this right now. You look at Newbin's announcement. Right? And when that announcement happens, think back to last year, Muhammad announced, and then, 2 running backs left. It's just part of college football these days, and I think that's what fans in college football, not just Minnesota, but fans in college football, especially here in Minnesota, need to just wrap our heads around a little bit that the game has changed, recruiting's changed, transferring's changed. Transfer used to be like, oh man, what's wrong? That just happens. A guy, gets told something else and wants to go somewhere else because the guy's in front of him. I get that, and that's why there's a transfer portal. We've benefited off the transfer portal. There's guys have made a ton of plays for us this year that were from the transfer portal that thank goodness we have the transfer portal. So you got to look at it, half full, which we always do. We know that there's going to be that type of attrition for all the right reasons, and I wish him all the best. He's a tremendous person, a wonderful player, and these are tough decisions young people have to make.
What are the first views of Syracuse? I know
Yeah.
pretty fresh.
Yeah, no, I mean, but we planned, we know information. We don't know exactly where we're going, but there's 2 or 3 bowl games that they know we're probably going to be slotted in. Those opponents. So if you think back a week and a half, ago, I mean, I gave our team, our coaches will tell you, I gave them 8 teams as you go on the road, here's 8 teams. And so we downloaded all on their computers. As the week went on, I was able to, tell them, hey, focus on these 2 teams. And we were able to get to Syracuse. So really good opponent. Did really well in the ACC this year. And, won some big games. So.
You coached against Coach Babers when he was at Bowling Green?
I did, yep. I mean, I don't know if there's a ton of comparisons. We're at 2 different places. It's different years. I do know this. I got a ton of respect for Dino. Know him very well. 2 Mark Coyle hires. When you look at it, it's pretty cool. But he's a wonderful football coach. I mean, he's won everywhere he's been. And when you look at the style of offense they play, I think this year they've been able to adapt to a lot of different things. I mean, everybody just thinks that it's orange fast, or whatever. When he was at Bowling Green, it was Falcon fast. And but as they've evolved, they've made it even more dangerous to go against, of how they've been able to implement with a really strong running game into what they've been able to do. So got a ton of respect for Dino, know him well, and I know he'll have his team prepared, and it'll be a great bowl game.
With 17 days till signing day, are there any positions you're hoping to address here that you haven't already?
All of them. And I mean that not to be sarcastic. I truly mean that. I mean, I have no idea in the next 17 days what's going to happen. Even news today, it's just like, oh, okay, all right, moving on. It's part of that world. The control aspect of being a head football coach, of knowing, I always used to tell you, I'm always 2 years out. I'm constantly 2 years out, 2 years out. You can still be 2 years out, but you better work in now. You better be working in month increments than just 2 years out. And you could backtrack that way, but what your roster looks like today, it might not look anywhere near that in 2 years. But we're going to look at every position we have, whether it's the portal or high school commitments. And I feel like we have a really strong high school class. Feel really good about where we're at in the high school developmental part. And then we just have to fill in some pieces here and there with the portal as we keep going through the next however many days.
What's the challenge there with the portal, with the signing day coming up, and the bowl?
It's a great question. I think just the challenge is the unknown, right? It's just the unknown. It's that control piece. Is you just don't know what you're going to have to go after. Last year, after Mo said he was coming back, and we had 2 guys leave that were really the depth and the future of the running back position, and they just picked up and left. So they were, okay, well, now what, right? But when you start to see what we're doing with the portal and the high school development, I think then the development of our program in general, I think you can take a deep breath and say, okay, we're going to be in a really good position either way. And our brand of the University of Minnesota and what we've been able to do on the recruiting trail and the last few seasons, last 3 in a row, have really, really good success. You start to, attract a lot more people. So it's been really exciting.
The bowl prep going in there too,
Oh, you're talking about just the schedule?
Yeah, the schedule.
Sorry. Didn't even answer your question. Yeah, the challenging part, which it's the exciting part. I wouldn't even say it's challenging. It's more exciting because we just go, go, go. People always say, what do you do in the off-season? The off-season is even busier than in-season, We just spent a whole week on the road. But I think you've got the transfer portal, which every day there's hundreds of kids that enter that you didn't even have the day before. So you're altering where you are going in recruiting. You could have a day set in recruiting, and I'm going to 3 spots, and then boom, on the way to the second spot, we're going to make a diversion, and we're going to go here to see this kid who just hit the portal. You've got the recruiting piece of the high school plus the portal part. You've got the bowl prep back here. You got your players back here finishing up with finals. And then you're doing everything you can to mix in some donors in there as well, and getting practice time in there. I think that's the exciting part of it, but the challenging part at the same time. You have OVs on the weekends, so busy is an understatement. But that's what we do as coaches, just kind of our life.
1 or 2 more for Coach? We looked back at the Wisconsin game, the run-pass balance that you guys had. How much of that was kind of preordained in the game plan? How much of that was game flow?
Yeah, I think when you look at us, we want to be balanced. We threw for over 300 yards, but there's been plenty of games. You think back to the Michigan State game, that's really us. I mean, you can go back through every season and see 8 of the games are really us. The games that we don't win, that's why people try to take you out of your own game plan. They want to make you one-dimensional. They want to take you away from what you do really well and make you just one-sided. That's what hopefully we do to people. That's what people are trying to do to us. That's how you go win football games. But I think everybody got a chance to see, just Ethan's ability. We see it all along. From day one, I've told you how good he has a possibility of being, but that's not the end-all, be-all either. They did a really good job of stopping the run and making us one-dimensional, but I thought our receivers really stepped up. I thought our quarterback played really well. Our tight end played really well. And again, we were a little bit more by committee. And that's what we're going to have to be. I said that after Michigan State. And then we had some inconsistency with that committee. But if we can be consistent, that's what we're capable of doing. It's just now closing the gap to consistency. I think you might have asked me what are we missing when we were kind of going through that slide. I just said consistency, routine consistency. When we have it, we're pretty good. And if we can get back to those things like you saw against Wisconsin, even when the run game wasn't as efficient as possible, we were still able to run the football through throwing it and spreading it around and making the routine plays and doing them consistently.
Final one for Coach Allen?
Is Tanner going to get back on the practice field?
Yeah, he's been on the practice field.
Is he going to practice?
Yeah, he's been at practice, and no, I'll just say this because he deserves this. I mean, that's he'll be practicing today as he comes back. He's still under the medical care, but he's back to practicing at different levels. But that doesn't necessarily just mean that that one guy's won the job or not or anything like that. This is we're just worried about his health right now, and doing everything we can to make him available.
Thank you, everyone. Thank
Okay,
you, Coach.
you got it. Row the boat, Sky, and Go Gophers. Thanks, everybody.